All right, welcome, boys and girls. This is episode 10 of the Chaingang podcast, and I know what you're thinking. We don't have Justin this week. Members keep dropping like flies on this podcast now. He's too busy throwing around the disc.
Oh God! What the fuck, Justin?
At West Virginia. So good luck to him and his IM tournament over there. I know he would much rather be talking football with us, but he will be with us next week. I think I'm more convinced that he just made up the tournament and that he's just worried that he lost again this week.
Absolutely.
So I don't think he can face us.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Justin will be out this episode. CPOY will be with us for about half the episode. We're gonna throw it back to the next on deck days, and it's gonna be me and Ryan for most of the episode today. But we got a lot to talk about today, as last week in the NFL was pretty fucked, if I'm gonna say anything. Like, if you wait till hear our game picks, it's fucked. It's more fucked than Ryan just rubbing his belly out of nowhere. I don't know where that is. Shit went down. So we got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to go over the taunting call or the new taunting penalty, as we are honorary refs in the NFL. So we should explain the taunting penalty and kind of talk about what state it's in, and we got a lot more on deck. So make sure to stay tuned. But first, we got our headlines of the week. Boys, I'll go over the first headline. CPOY, I'm sure you were just jumping out of bed of joy Monday morning when you saw this game. The Broncos beat down the Cowboys.
It's always a good day when the Cowboys lose.
Who would have thought?
Even if the Eagles lose, as long as the Cowboys lose, it's a good day. It doesn't matter.
The Cowboys beat the Vikings with Cooper Rush. The next week, they lose to the Broncos with Dak.
Is Cooper Rush dancing?
That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Is that Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott.
Cooper Rush.
And that if they would have played him against the Broncos, they would have won. So I don't understand what happened to this offense. I mean, Von Miller's not even there, and it looked like there were 7 Von Millers out there. Like, they didn't have any points in the first 3 quarters. They only had 2 first downs in the first half. Because what went on with the Cowboys offense? I don't understand.
That is just piss poor. They couldn't get anything going. The run game was bad. The passing game was bad. They kind of fixed it in the second half, but why did it take them so long?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. It's not like, Dak was sort of healthy last week. So It's not like he, is just coming back from injury. Even though, it was his first game back. But I don't think this is, a game to kind of look into. I think this is just a bad week for the Cowboys. I still have confidence in them winning the division and being a playoff contender. But hats off to the Broncos, though. They got up 30-0, and they had 190 rushing yards against the Cowboys, who don't have a bad rush defense. So props to the Broncos for surprising us this week.
Our next headline in this just god-awful week of football was even worse, I think. The Jags beat the freaking Bills. We made it very clear which Josh Allen was the most important Josh Allen in the NFL. 2 years in a row, same draft pick. We know which one was better, and it is not the Bills quarterback, that's for sure.
Yeah, I heard that the Bills called up the Jags after the game and wanted to trade Josh Allen for Josh Allen, but
I wouldn't take it if I was the Jags.
Well, they didn't. They declined.
Alpha Josh Allen had 8 tackles, 1 sack, an interception, and a recovered fumble. The sack, the interception, and the fumble were all on his little brother, Josh Allen.
That's
his son.
His son.
Josh Allen Jr. from now on.
See, it's even better to me that the recovered fumble was also from Josh Allen, and it just made it so much better. He really went off this game, but even, with that, the Bills still couldn't do anything on offense. Yeah. And I don't know why. It's the Jags.
Yeah. They have nothing.
And it's the Bills offense. What the hell are they doing? They had 22 rushing yards from their running backs on 9 carries. I know they don't have the greatest running backs, but like even against a team like the Jags, you have to get the run game going a little bit.
Think.
And it's not, and it's frustrating for me because it's not even like the Jags played that much better.
They were still the Jags.
It's just
They only put up 9 points.
Yeah, a 9-6
exactly.
game.
That's terrible for your average game.
And Trevor Lawrence got hurt. So they weren't even at full strength like half the game. So I just don't know what happened with the Bills. We will be talking about them later in the episode, and because this game might have more to look into, to the Bills' offensive troubles. So we're going to talk about it later. But Stat Boy, what's the next headline we got this week?
It kills me. Giants beating the Raiders. They gave them a good one. Giants shut them down in the fourth quarter. They missed a field goal, had an interception, fumble in the red zone. Killer seeing the Giants beat somebody like the Raiders.
Yeah, I think this was just the Raiders not being able to perform in the fourth quarter. They had so many chances, like you said, Stat Boy, to beat the Giants. And again, just like with the Jags, it's not like the Giants even played that much better. It's just the Raiders just sucked. That's all it was. Danny Dimes had 110 passing yards. 110.
It was a big week of
and they won.
The works.
Yeah. How do you win with 110 passing yards and you don't have Lamar Jackson?
That's terrible.
I don't understand. I really don't. And again, I am high on the Giants this year. And this is a big win for them, don't get me wrong. But I don't see them moving up necessarily in the power rankings that much based on the performance of the Raiders. Obviously, they beat a good team in the Raiders, but that good team did not show up on Sunday. I don't know where they were. Yeah, it really was. And I don't know if the Henry Ruggs incident had that much of an effect or if it was just them sucking. I don't really know. But they will get Deshaun Jackson this week. I think that will really help them. Really help Derek Carr, honestly, being able to, throw the deep ball again. Because, really when you think about it, Hunter Renfrow is kind of like Edelman. He's just like short guys. So, like, defenses are going to be all over that. But when you don't have the deep ball, that's really all you have to focus on. I mean, obviously besides Darren Waller, but, still. So I think getting Deshaun Jackson is really going to open them up this week. But I think one of the biggest surprises this week was Sunday night. The Titans beating the Rams, which no one could have predicted because Derrick Henry was out. So I was like, oh, man, this game would have been so good if Derrick Henry was healthy. But they still won without him.
Yeah, the Titans' defense looked insane this week. They put so much pressure on Stafford. He had nowhere to go. He had no time. That's why those interceptions happened when he was just rushed every single play. He was getting like hit, rushed, every time.
Yeah,
that too.
Yeah, and it's hard to defend the
Yeah,
exactly. But Harold Landry was going off. That whole defensive line was really crazy for the Titans. I agree. But again, it's not even like the Titans played that much better on offense. They only had 194 yards. And they were averaging 2.7 rushing yards per carry. That's terrible.
But Adrian Peterson did have a touchdown.
He did. He did have a touch. That honorary, like, he'll have 30 yards and a touchdown a game. But I think this is I think even though the Titans won, I think it's still concerning the performance they put up against the Rams. Purely, just their offense, honestly. Their defense played pretty well, but they won't be able to carry them like that every game. So you got to put up more than 194 total yards, to win this game. And you're not going to get a pick six from Kevin Byrd every week. So it's true. It's just not going to happen. So those are our headlines for the week. Hopefully this next week we'll have better headlines than just a bunch of upsets. But, I mean, that's what happened. That was the week this week. So we're going to go now into our Chaingang Players of the Week. And so, boys, who are your Players of the Week this week?
Well, personally, I would have to give it to Josh Allen. Not the quarterback, of course.
Right, the better Josh Allen.
He was my pick. He should now be called Josh Allen Sr., in my opinion. Just played that well. He was the X factor that shut down the Bills. He was He was all over social media the next day. It was insane too. So if you see a player on defense multiple times on like Bleacher Report or Sports Center, it means they had an amazing game. So got to give it to him.
Yeah, agreed. He had 8 tackles, a sack, interception, and a fumble recovery. It's hard to beat.
And especially against a guy like Josh Allen. Jr.
Right. Right.
Usually he's a high regarded quarterback.
Exactly. So props to Josh Allen this week. Will say, Stat Boy, I did have the same player of the week, but I will change it for sake of.
To be fair, I thought of it before I saw it on the.
No, I know. I'm
not saying I did not steal it. I did not steal it. I was thinking about it.
No, I 100% knew that you didn't steal it. I was just saying that I had the same one. But this week, I'm gonna go with Chris Boswell. I know he missed a PAT Monday night, but he had arguably, and Pat McAfee said this, and I didn't realize until he said it, but it was so true, that he arguably had the best fourth quarter of a kicker, or honestly, any special teams player, or maybe player of all time. He hit 3 field goals, including a game winner, and recovered a fumble.
Yeah,
all in one quarter.
Wow.
He led the Steelers to victory.
He did.
His foot.
Him and the refs.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep, exactly. Him and the refs led us to victory. So Chris Boswell.
That's a good one. I like it.
Props to him. It's not going to be every week that we get a kicker as player of the week.
Down in the box.
So figured it'd be better than just having everyone pick Josh Allen this week.
My player of the week, not Josh Allen, not a kicker. Jonathan Taylor. Dude was a freak.
He was.
Last Thursday. I know it was against the Jets, but their defense isn't terrible. They have a solid defense.
Anytime you put up the number of yards he did,
dude, he had 19 rushes for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's averaging over 9 yards a carry. That is disgusting.
Oh, man.
Like, oh, my God. He was just untouchable out there.
Jeez.
Yeah, he looked great, and, that's what fueled the Colts offense, and, that's what we kind of said on Thursday Night Preview. They got to get Jonathan Taylor going, and they did for sure. And I think that's what helped the Colts pull it out, because the Jets did kind of make a mini comeback at the end, but it wasn't enough. So those are our players of the week this week. We will see who gets player of the week next week. I like to say, though, I like how it's not exactly traditional guys like player, it's not Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson every week. It's different guys.
Pause.
I don't know what the fuck you're on right now, but I will say, guys, we're halfway through the NFL season. Believe it or not, I can still remember sitting on my phone waiting for the first games to kick off week 1, and it's gone by super fast ever since. But I want to give out some midseason awards, to some guys that really have thrived in the first half of the year. So we got all of the normal awards, and then I also want to give Super Bowl predictions, see if they change from beginning of the year, just depending on injuries and stuff like that. So the first award we got up is MVP, and I do have 5 candidates, but you may choose outside of the 5. They were just the 5 that I believe are, in the running. So we got Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Derrick Henry, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. So who do you guys think is MVP in the first half of the year?
Well, I'm going to have to say I have 2 that I think are sitting on top, and one of them isn't on your list.
Okay.
One, Kyler Murray. Dude's been an absolute freak this year. The Cardinals are looking crazy good. They made a huge comeback from last year. He's obviously the focal point of that. Very, very good season so far for him. He's putting up great numbers. My second option, I think that last night didn't look great for him. I think Lamar Jackson's in the running again. He is the amount of double-digit comebacks he's made this year is insane, and that proves his importance. He is the Ravens team, and they are potentially a deep playoff team because of him. I think that he is having a really good season. He's proven himself as a quarterback more than a running back this season by being able to make those comebacks without his legs. And I think that's MVP caliber stuff right there. So I think either of those two could be good.
But if you had to pick one, who you choosing?
I'm picking Lamar.
I think that's a good point. You know, I didn't even think about just the accolades kind of, and not, just purely based on stats, but right, he has made a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, and this Ravens team looks a lot better, and I think they should have more confidence going into the playoffs this year. This is not the same team as they were last year, and I think just having more offensive weapons has been huge for him. So that's a really good pick. Sapboy, who are you thinking for MVP?
I think it could be Matthew Stafford, because Matthew Stafford came in, absolutely just made everything go upside down on the Rams after the last quarterback was not so hot, and now we see how terrible he is in Detroit. Goff is terrible in Detroit right now. Stafford, it just shows how good of a quarterback he is now while he's in a good system.
I agree. Stafford has really transformed this Rams team and has made them into the top Super Bowl contender that they are. So great pick again. I'm going to have to go with Tom Brady. And I know it's kind of the, black and white answer maybe, or, it's the easy choice. But when you look at it, I mean, he has been having one of the best seasons he's ever had. He's leading the league in passing yards right now, leading the league in touchdowns. He's only thrown like 5 interceptions. This Bucs team is still looking really good with him. And he's just putting up big numbers, and he's making big plays. So I like what Tom Brady's doing. And, I think he takes the crown here. So, yeah, so those are our MVPs. We will see if any of them actually win, seasonal MVP. But the next award we got up is Defensive Player of the Year. And I only have 3 candidates for this one, as like MVP was a little bit harder, I think. But Defensive Player of the Year, and again, you can pick candidates outside of these 3. But I got Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Trayvon Diggs, and actually, I'm going to add one. I'm going to add Harold Landry on the Titans.
I think it's hard to go against Myles Garrett right now. He is an absolute freak this year. He is untouchable. If you ever even think about putting one guy on him, he's already been sacked. Like, you're putting 2-3 guys every single play, and he's still getting back there. He is having an amazing season. He has yet to hit anyone in the head with a helmet, so that's good for him. Come a long way. I think he's just looking too dominant to not be defensive player of the year.
If he does hit someone in the head with the helmet, does that take him out?
I think that should take him out of the race, yes.
Okay.
But yet he still won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award last year, so I don't really know.
Well, but that's like flashing his athleticism, right?
I guess.
His aggressiveness. I like Myles Garrett, and I did predict that in the beginning of the season, but right now I'm changing mine to T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt's looking really good. He's up there with Myles Garrett in sacks. Even with Myles Garrett having that 5-sack game, T.J. Watt is still right there. He's made some big plays late in the game for the Steelers that has led to multiple victories for us. And without him, we would be at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the AFC North. So T.J. Watt has really come through in game time situations, and I think he kind of got robbed the Defensive Player of the Year last year. To be honest, I mean, obviously Aaron Donald's a better player, but statistically, Watt I think had the better season. So
hey, fuck Donald.
T.J. Watt's my Defensive Player of the Year so far. He's making big plays out there.
I think I am going to agree with Ryan. Myles Garrett, every time he takes the sleeves off, PED testing the next day, just like clockwork. He's that good. It's just the sleeves go off, he goes off, and then he has to pee off into a cup. So
I will say I'm glad that no one picked Trayvon Diggs. I'll be honest.
No, he's fake.
I knew he
I am
wasn't
not
picking-
voting for a Cowboys player. There's no way.
Sadboy wasn't picking Trayvon Diggs.
No.
Trayvon Diggs could have 20 interceptions. Cowboys still not taking it.
No.
Trayvon Diggs could be Deion Sanders. Stafford would be like, fuck him. He's nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dog water. But yeah, Trayvon Diggs will not be in the next section of awards, as it's Offensive Player of the Year that we're going to talk about next. And this one, I feel like you guys are definitely going to go outside of my three, but I will say the three that I have listed are Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, and I'm going to add in Deebo Samuel.
Well, since I don't see that you've included a Rookie of the Year, I will save Rookie of the Year for Jamar Chase just because how good he is. And for Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to bring up the guy I brought up, Cooper Kupp, most receiving yards. He's already at 1,000, right? So
Yep.
I think I'm going to give it to him. He's doing so well.
Yeah, I think it would be hard to go against Cooper Kupp. He is just an absolute freak right now. He's looked so good out there. He's dominating the receiving stuff. So I'd say either him or Jonathan Taylor, because Jonathan Taylor had a really good week this week, but this isn't his first week doing that. He's been going off as a running back. He's got a good line to help him out to get him those yards. And he's second in yards right now, and now that Derrick Henry's gone, he's going to take over. And I think he can continue that and be proven as the best running back in the league this year. And I think that could put him at Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's true, but I am going to go with StatBoy here. I think Cooper Kupp's honestly too hard not to pick. The guy is putting up incredible numbers, 74 catches, over 1,000 receiving yards. I'm pretty sure he's also up there in touchdowns this year. He's just really opened up this Rams offense, and he finally actually has a quarterback, and now we can see what he can do with a quarterback. So Cooper Kupp's just having too impressive of a year not to give him Offensive Player of the Year for sure. But next up, we got Comeback Player of the Year. Candidates I got is Joe Burrow, Nick Bosa, and Dak Prescott.
I think I'm going to have to go Dak Prescott. The Cowboys have looked phenomenal other than last week. And it's, kind of been leaning on him. It's as if the injury never happened. He's moving around well. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not concerned about his leg at all. And he's just slinging the ball like he used to, if not better. I think even better, and he's proven himself. He's got good receiving core, and he's getting them the ball constantly. I think he is making the Cowboys a much better team than they were. And after a big injury like that, it'd be hard not to get to him.
Yeah, the severity of the injury was probably the worst one, I would think, out of at least the three of those guys. And Dak has been playing well this year, but I'm going with Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow, honestly, he's just overall improved so much from last year, and I think Jamar Chase is obviously a huge reason why. But, the Bengals are playing a lot better. They went from a team who had a top 5 pick to a team who is possibly a wild card contender. So Joe Burrow has really turned this team around and come back from injury. So, props to him for that. So I got him for Comeback Player of the Year.
I agree. I think Joe Burrow took the Bengals from the doormat of the league last year to a postseason, contender. Hopefully. I think it'd be amazing to see him and Jamar Chase, see him throw a touchdown into. Dude, that would be so fun to watch. They
are in the Steelers division. No.
Yeah, they get a wild card. They won't be able to beat out any teams in that division. It's not possible. They're gonna get a wild card probably.
Well, we'll let him have a primetime game, then we can watch there, but not in the playoffs. We don't want him there. We don't want him.
All right.
Like StatBoy said, I literally just now added in Rookie of the Year. I don't know how I forgot that award because it's pretty significant. I definitely am, but I'm not a dumb bitch for the candidates that I have up, I believe. Again, you can pick candidates outside, but Rookie of the Year candidates I got Mac Jones, Jamar Chase, and Micah Parsons.
I think if the Patriots make the playoffs, it's going to be a really close race between Mac Jones and Jamar Chase. But Jamar Chase, if he continues the way he has been putting up absolutely insane numbers that we have yet to see from rookies in a while. Justin Jefferson was similar last year. Jamar Chase is just one step above, it almost seems like. And if he continues to put up those numbers, it's going to be hard to give anyone else.
True. I think I'm going to have to go with Micah Parsons. He started off a little bit slow for the Cowboys, but he's been putting up like 8+ tackles in almost every game. He's pretty much guarding every position, out on the defensive side. And he's just looking good. He had 2.5 sacks last week, and he's going to only add to those numbers. And he's really one of the reasons why the Cowboys defense has been a lot better this year than it was last year. So I'm very impressed with what Michael Parsons is doing for this Cowboys defense, and I'm going to take him.
No, I got a sleeper pick for Rookie of the Year. Sleeper pick. You guys didn't remember this. He's a wide receiver. He's in the NFC East. Devontae Smith.
Wow, what a fucking surprise that the
Yeah.
Eagles fan picks Devonta Smith.
Hey,
He's got nothing.
He's one of the most inconsistent fuckers in this league.
Because he's got Jalen Hurts as his quarterback. I think he's been playing pretty well. I think he's been doing all right. He's got a good stretch in the next four games against teams that I think we're going to be able to see good connection from those guys.
I mean, I'm not
I
doubting
think he's
that
pretty good.
I'm not doubting that he's playing good. It's just the fact that, like,
No. The G would get it before he did.
Yeah, Najee, he should have been one of the candidates. I'm actually ashamed of myself that I didn't put him
As much as he plays like every single snap of offense ever. But
Najee also has been going off. He's probably, if anybody on offense is going to get it, I think it's going to be Najee. But Devonta Smith is he's not even in the same department as these candidates right now. Not even close.
honestly, I'd take Jalen Waddle before I took Devonta Smith.
You know what? That's a good point. I think I would too.
At least Jalen Waddle's consistently all right.
Yeah. He's been making good plays too. Yeah, we're not going to convince him here. Yeah, so we'll finish off with midseason. Well, I guess this is not really a midseason award, but midseason topics. We'll finish off with who we think right now is going to go to the Super Bowl. So, Stat Boy, you go first. What teams do you see going to the Super Bowl as of right now?
I cannot deny Tom Brady. Tom Brady. I mean, he's just all over the place when it comes to the playoffs. He has just been not all over the place. He's been so consistent. He's just been a monster. You can't really bet against him. If he makes it to the playoffs, there's no way that he doesn't. There's no way that he doesn't get to the NFC Championship game. AFC is just not what it has been since Brady left the Patriots. They're not the force they used to be. It's now the NFC.
Definitely not.
So I don't believe in the Titans because they lost Derrick Henry. He was the staple of that offense. I don't believe in the Chargers. They haven't been consistent. I guess whoever wins out of the AFC North, I think. So, and it'd be that the one of those guys. Maybe
You think of the Steelers?
Yeah.
I don't think Stat Boy is very confident.
In between maybe like Steelers and Ravens.
Oh,
I can take those odds.
Oh, I am more than happy with those odds. Okay. I think I might be going a different route here. I'm really confused, honestly, on the NFC side more than AFC because obviously the Rams are probably the top contender. Bucks, it's going to be hard to repeat, but they still got the same team. And Tom Brady's at his, basically his top level right now. And there's always Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are always right there, all of the top teams. So I think it has to be one of those three. And, my gut says the Bucks, even though it's going to be hard to repeat, as long as they don't play the Saints, I think they can get to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the Bucks in the NFC. And for the AFC, I think I'm taking the Ravens. Like Ryan said earlier, Lamar Jackson is playing like an MVP. He's looking a lot better. Well, maybe not a lot better, but he is looking a lot better in, when it comes to game-winning situations and everything like that. And I think the Ravens defense is still solid as it always is. So I think the Ravens, this is kind of the year for them to, win the AFC as, the Chiefs are struggling. The Chargers are kind of dropping off. Their division is tough, but they're better than all their teams in the division, and they can beat the Bills. They have the weapons to do it, and the Bills sometimes are inconsistent. But I'm going to take the Bucks beating the Ravens in the Super Bowl just because I think that Bucks defense is going to be too much for Lamar Jackson. So Bucks are going to repeat.
I like those picks. Those aren't bad. You know, a little bit of maybe you're sucking Tom Brady's dick, maybe.
Who doesn't want to?
Looks like his son does. Personally, I think I'm gonna have to go AFC side. I'm sticking with the Bills. I know they looked pretty piss poor this past week, kind of dog water, and I hyped up Lamar Jackson. And I stand by that, but also, you know, it's gonna be hard to be a deep playoff team if you go into every half down 30. You can't bet on those comebacks. So I think the Bills are just a more well-rounded team than the Ravens if they just stick to their guns and don't do whatever they just did. So I'm going to have to go Bills in the AFC side. And NFC side, I like the Rams. They continue to make moves, and they're just building that team up. Once Von Miller's in, once Odell's in, I think they can do it. They've proven they've already beat the Bucs once. Right? They beat the Bucs this year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can do it. I know that wasn't playoff Tom Brady, but it's doable. And I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be them. So I'm going to say the Rams, Bills in the Super Bowl, and I'm taking the Rams.
I'm glad one of us picked the Rams, because if we didn't, then it would look really bad, I think, on us, because they're like, oh, you know, they're retarded. Like, how would the Rams not be?
Yeah.
But yeah, I like those picks. So Stat Boy unfortunately has to sign off. But thanks, Stat Boy, for joining whatever portions you could. This week we really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.
See ya.
Thank God he's gone.
Oh, holy shit! You just give me, dude. I will say though, Stat Boy and I were kind of had a vibe going this week. We were picking a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, we picked like the same comeback player, the same offensive player.
You didn't even know there was a rookie of the year.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it because I ain't no rookie. But yeah, those were kind of our mid-season awards / Super Bowl prediction. For our next topic, as we are referees, there has been some controversy with the taunting calls recently, and I feel like we should, as referees, talk about them. To us, the fans, it seems like the rules are getting out of hand. It seems like the refs are calling more and more taunting penalties in unnecessary situations. But the refs define taunting as any flagrant acts or remarks that deride, mock, bait, or embarrass an opponent. Now, that just, I think that rule defines the world we live in right now. That just, it couldn't sum it up any better.
Dude, how is getting smacked and put in your ass by Myles Garrett not embarrassing as it is? What is a little more?
Exactly. When you think about it, you could use anytime someone gets their ankles broken. Yeah. Maybe Zach Wilson throws a 7th interception in a game and they got to throw it up. It's like,
if you're running next to me and I'm running with you, am I not mocking you?
You are. And if you're juking me out and if you go to one side, aren't you baiting me to go to that side? So technically, under these rules, you can call a taunting call.
It's a taunt.
Exactly. It's the taunting league now.
It is.
But this, they kind of became more strict about this rule. Obviously, after the Antoine Winfield Deuces signed to Tyreek Hill, which I thought was hilarious. The best defensive celebration ever. Not even because it was enthusiastic or anything. It was just so ironic, and it was just great.
It was great.
It was.
It wasn't just any taunt. It was very specific.
You can really, that it embarrassed Tyreek.
Oh yeah,
you know it. It was one of the best celebrations ever. If it isn't an album cover already, it should be at some point. I know anything could be an album cover, but it's hard to beat that one when it comes to sports. We should. Deuces. But yeah, so there have been a lot of taunting calls, recently, and some of them have kind of thrown off, some game results. I think the biggest one. Dang it! We might have bit off the refs to, give us a taunting call after Big Ben went down on third down. One of the practice squad guys that they signed that day, they brought him up that day, made a big time sack, and
a sick ass kick.
Yeah,
it was pretty dope. I'll be honest.
It was
some Muay Thai shit.
And he kind of, I'm not sure if the taunting call was him going up because he kind of went up to Percy Harvin and kind of flexed on him a little bit, but then he mildly bumped in the referee and then immediately throws the flag.
There's so much going on there.
There really is. Under the rules, they are technically making the right calls, but is there really a need for it to be so strict?
No, it's like 10 years ago whenever you couldn't do any kind of celebration when you scored.
Yeah.
And it was if you breathed in the end zone, they flagged you. Now they got rid of it and everyone loved it because they have a sick ass celebration.
Yeah.
So they're you know what? Screw the defense. They can't do that. We're not letting them celebrate.
They just, it's it's honestly turning back into the no fun league.
It is.
To the point where they're just penalizing players for celebrating.
Yeah. And it's been big time plays.
Yeah, and then as a defensive player, that's how you can't celebrate touchdowns because
you don't score very often.
Exactly. So that's their way of celebrating. And it's football. You trash talk.
Exactly.
That's just part of the game.
For sports.
And as referees, I am ashamed to call ourselves referees because of the terrible taunting calls. But I mean, under the rules, they technically should be called. But the rules should be changed. Yeah. They really should be. It's screwing up, and especially because what's technically the penalty if you get a taunting call? Is it like in sportsmanlike where it's 15 yards and a first?
I'm not sure.
I think they might just get a first down, maybe 10 yards. I don't know, but it's still way too much to be penalized, even for how minor the actual celebration or whatever is.
If you gotta find a dude, you gotta find a dude. That's fine. But that doesn't affect the game.
Right. Right. And you know what? I think they should replace the taunting penalty by just giving the players a fine. If we can make a different colored flag.
Yes.
And fine flag. Yeah, fine flag. We throw it up and, there's different sizes of the fine flag. So the bigger the flag, the more money you're going to have to pay.
And you know what I love about fines is it really makes the players learn how to get away with it. When Tyreek Hill made his gloves have a peace sign built into the hand so that he wasn't technically putting up the peace sign, that's awesome. That is hilarious.
NFL players are more creative than we think.
I know.
But I don't know. Obviously, the flag is going to teach them to not do that.
Well, what are they doing?
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand because it makes the game more exciting for the fans. So I don't understand why this penalty is in place. And I know fining doesn't do anything. For example, Aaron Rodgers got fined $14,000 for not having the vaccine. And to him, that's about $4 compared to a normal person. So, it just seems unnecessary. All these taunting penalties for me. They should definitely replace it, get rid of it, do something, man. It's just turning the National Football League into the no fun league. We're going back to our old ways. So I know all of you guys agree with me there that the rules should be changed, but technically the penalties that are being called, I mean, it's not they're wrong for doing it, but because technically it's that way in the rules, but it's just so vague that you can basically call anything taunting, we were talking about earlier. So, it's kind of frustrating, but, we'll try to make something happen in the office. We'll call up Odell. Yeah, we'll get it changed. Yeah. But next up, kind of two major free agency signings this past week. So Ryan, I want to ask you the question, what was the more surprising move to you? Was it Odell going to the Rams or Cam Newton returning back to Carolina?
It's got to be Cam back to Carolina. That's crazy. I didn't expect the Rams to get Odell, but I knew Odell was looking for a championship team right now, and he picked one. So that's not totally out of the it wasn't my top three even, I thought, but it makes sense in the long run. But Cam Newton back to the Panthers, I thought he was done, especially with the Panthers. Why? That's just crazy. They're bringing him back. They made the moves to get Darnold this year. He's hurt. He's not doing so great. They said, hey, let's run it back to when we made the Super Bowl. Let's see what he can do. And it's not like he's coming off that Super Bowl season either. He's lost to Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones is good, but Cam Newton was a freak. So obviously he's not where he used to be, but this is going to be exciting. I think it might take him a little bit to get back into it, but I think it would be cool if he came back as a powerhouse Cam Newton.
It's going to be so fun to see. I am personally tuning into the Panthers game just to watch him this week. I've always loved watching Cam Newton play, and I agree with you. I think this was the more surprising move, as Odell was kind of in contention with the Rams. They were always kind of there. I think they weren't one of the teams that had the most interest in him, but I think Odell probably was more interested, in the Rams. But Cam going to the Panthers, it's going to bring back so many good memories. I've always loved that Cam Newton, Panther prime that he had. And we'll see if he'll be able to bring it back. I'm sure Christian McCaffrey is going to love having him back. I'm excited to see how he does, kind of in this offense with Matt Rule, as the new coach. Doesn't have Ron Rivera anymore. We'll see. But I think, at the same time, though, I'm not totally surprised the Panthers made this move because they have made it very clear that they think they're contenders. They're making moves like they are contenders. Obviously getting Stephon Gilmore and, basically just, signing Cam Newton. PJ Walker's a solid backup, but he's not Cam Newton. He's not Cam Newton. Yeah, exactly. So I think this is good signing for the Panthers. I like what they're doing. I really hope Cam can play well because I don't want to say it would be embarrassing if
it would be a little embarrassing.
We
might have to call a taunting call in the NFL.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might have to call taunting on Cam Newton. But I don't know. I mean, it'll still be good to see him back. I think obviously expectations have to be tempered for sure, because he's not the same quarterback he was before. But it's a smart move by the Panthers. I like what they're doing. I can't wait to see Cam back. And hopefully maybe Robbie Anderson will get some targets this week with Cam Newton. But Ryan, I just kind of want to touch up before we go to controversial calls. What do you think Odell brings to this Rams offense? Obviously, it's Odell, and it's a great third option to have, or second option. Honestly, I don't even know if he's over Robert Woods or, whatever. But, what besides just another target, what does he bring to this offense?
I think he brings what Deshaun Jackson almost brought. We saw glimpses of Matt Stafford seeing Deshaun Jackson with those deep balls, and those were big plays that they made. And Odell's similar in that sense. He can make that deep ball happen. I think Matt Stafford has the arm. He loves to make that throw. And Odell's a guy who can get open for sure. That's not going to be a problem. So big plays like that, I think we're going to see a lot of big plays out of Odell and Matt Stafford.
Yeah, agreed. I really like Odell in this offense. And like you said, Ryan, I think he kind of fills in that Deshaun Jackson void. He's going to be great with the deep ball. But, to me, I think he's just a guy who can make plays in the field. He's a guy who, if you give the ball with space, he's juking out some guy. He's getting, he's great with yards after the catch. And I think that's huge for this Rams offense. As, penalties kind of kill them and, just like weird things, sometimes Matthew Stafford's not great under pressure. So, just having Odell as another option is going to be huge for this Rams offense. As, teams are starting to lock down Cooper Kupp more. And, so they're really just left with Robert Woods in the passing game. And, that kind of limits Matthew Stafford. But getting Odell really just helps out Stafford, with another guy under pressure. And like you said, just going to make the Rams offense more deadly than it was before. So I'm really excited to see Odell on this team, see what he can do. Hopefully he actually gets the ball. It's going to be hard with, the amount of targets Cooper Kupp's getting.
True.
But, I think Odell's going to be a solid option to this team. I think he's really going to open up their offense. And I think he's kind of that final piece that the offense needed. So the Rams got the final piece in Von Miller, and now they got one in Odell Beckham. So we will see how Odell and Cam do on their new teams. I know I'm excited to watch Cam especially, play for the Panthers. But next up, we got our controversial calls. And this week, there were a couple bad ones. but obviously, like I said before, or kind of what we were talking about before, we're gonna go over the Bears taunting call, that happened Monday night. So here's kind of the sack that I was talking about earlier. Man, Ben was taking way too much time on the throw.
He's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, I guess he was trying to make time here. Yeah, but he celebrated, he's doing his thing. He just came off the practice squad. You gotta flex a little bit.
Yeah, he came over to Preston Harvin a little bit, flexed on him a little bit.
Wow, this video
shows very little of everything.
It didn't show him bumping into the referee.
No.
But I mean, I guess we kind of knew what happened.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
I mean, I think it's the right call with the rule. Like we said, it sucks that there's the rule in place, but he stepped at Presley Harvin a little bit. He stepped around, he flexed. It was a taunt. He no doubt taunted.
I don't know about this one. I mean, when you look at the rules, it's embarrassing an opponent or mocking them or whatever. But he didn't pull out the flag the second that he did that to Percy Harvin.
That's true.
Pulled it out when he bumped into the referee.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was even a bad taunting call.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just coincidental that the ref saw it and then just the guy happened to bump into him the same time he threw the flag up. But if the reason was that he did that to the ref, then that should not have been a call at all. And especially because it was the ref was kind of backing up a little bit, and he just hit him with the shoulder, barely grazed him. It's not like he put his chest into him. Right?
That was some bullshit there.
Yeah, that was even by taunting standards.
Yeah,
that was a bad call. But the next one we got up is it happened Sunday night with Aaron Donald roughing the passer. And I think besides taunting, this has to be our second least favorite penalty. It's terrible, but all right, well, here we go. This is and again, this is a very this is a very big stop that the Rams have to make here, because they're still in this game at this point.
Yeah.
Obviously flags falling on down, but Aaron Donald's such a big guy. It's hard for him not to rough the passer, honestly.
That size, anywhere near the passer is going to rough the passer.
I know. Sean McVay was obviously displeased, but so.
What?
He doesn't fall on him?
No.
He doesn't really
wrap.
He barely even hits him after the throw.
His hands were already out. He was going for that ball. He brought them down. He didn't wrap up. He didn't lift. He didn't drop on the passer. That's a terrible call.
I agree. He's not it really is a bad call because he didn't even fall down.
No. Tannehill literally kept running. That's awful.
It is terrible. And it's just honestly it's getting embarrassing at this point for the refs. I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, that is not a roughing the passer call at all.
No.
I know it was after the throw, but barely. And he just pushed him. He literally just pushed him.
No.
Do you think it's like the Aaron Donald standard where he's so strong that
they were just going to break his ribs?
Well, it just looked so much worse than it actually was because of how strong he is.
He probably just went like this, but at his size, he just
exactly. Tannehill got launched. But the refs, come on, man, you got
working himself.
Yeah, y'all. I think it's about time for our promotion. I think we've had enough bad weeks in a row where the refs. They've had their chances. I think it's our turn now, and so refs were pretty awful this week. Not making really that good of calls. Again, taunting and roughing the passer continues to be the highlight of controversial calls, as we seem to have at least one.
We get to keep a job because of that. That's for sure.
Yeah, true. This segment is because of roughing the passer, pretty much. Those are our controversial calls for the week, and we'll finish up with our game picks. All right, boys, we got our last topic of the day. Thankfully, again, CPOY was at least able to join us for this part of the podcast. So Stat Boy, inform us on how we did this week.
Okay. Results
I guess-
last week. There were 2 people who had the exact same score and one who lost one more game. So the 2 people that won or tied for first place was Dylan and Ryan. Justin has lost.
Justin takes another L. That's probably why he's not on the episode today, because he didn't want to face us. Yeah, damn. Okay, well, sick. Last week was kind of rough for game picks. I'm not gonna lie. Winning at 7-7 is not great. Not great at all. Honestly, we haven't done the chip challenge yet, but I think we should let Justin not have a punishment this week.
I agree. The chip challenge seems a little bit aggressive. It could be a 2-week punishment combo.
Yeah, I agree. Because he was reading off like some of the
Side effects.
side effects. Yeah, he's real scared, and I don't blame him. So we won't give him a punishment this week. It will be the one chip challenge. Yeah, so hopefully we can do better this week. I don't know, because the NFL's been fucked the last week. So
Only take upsets this week.
Yeah, I guess we'll only take upsets. Good. But Stat Boy, introduce us to the games this week. Yeah.
All right. The Thursday night game was Ravens-Dolphins. I can speak for everyone in saying that we all picked the Ravens. There was no way the Dolphins were coming out. So we are starting off 0-1, all of us. The 1 p.m. game, starting off Lions-Steelers. Steelers, Chase Claypool and Najee Harris and Big Ben, along with Cam Hayward, are questionable. So what do you think? Lions-Steelers.
Obviously, we got to take the Steelers.
Our boys, the Steelers.
I pick the Steelers. Okay. Next 1 p.m. game, Jags-Colts. Miles Jack for the Jags is questionable, along with Trevor Lawrence and James Robinson. For the Colts, Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, and Carson Wentz are questionable. Who do you think, guys?
These are big players, but I'm still taking the Colts here.
Colts.
Got to go with the Colts. Jags, Colts, all done. Falcons, Cowboys. Falcons will be without Calvin Ridley, and the Cowboys could be without Amari Cooper and Zeke. They're both questionable.
I'm going with Cowboys.
Agreed. I'm still taking the Cowboys.
I pick Falcons because fuck them boys. Okay. Browns, Pats. Mac Jones has a 70% completion percentage or higher in 5 of 9 games this season. Patriots have only given up 5 rushing touchdowns all year. They're tied for 5th in the league, while the Browns have the most rushing touchdowns in the league at 16. Patriots are also 1-4 at home this year, which it will be in Foxborough. Injuries to the Browns: Nick Chubb is out, Clowney's questionable, Jack Conklin's out, Myles Garrett's questionable, Kareem Hunt's still out, and Jarvis Landry's questionable. Odell is no longer in the city of Lake Erie as well, so we can kind of say he's out, right? Patriots, Jamie Collins is questionable, Nick Folk is questionable, Damian Harris, Dante Hightower, Shaq Mason, Jonnu Smith, and Kyle Van Noy all questionable.
That's a lot of injuries across the board. The Browns looked a lot better last week against the Bengals. They really came back after the whole Odell situation and losing to the Steelers without a kicker. The tough times in Cleveland, but yeah, they did bounce back, and I think it's because they actually used Nick Chubb. He had like 140 rushing yards on only 14 carries. Played amazing last week. And I think that's what the Browns obviously had to keep doing, is pound the run game here. The Patriots defense is what is going to keep them in it this week. But I'm still taking the Browns. I'm confident that Nick Chubb is going to have a big game. And like Statboy said, the Patriots have been struggling at home. So I don't exactly have confidence in Mac Jones against a pretty solid Browns defense.
Well,
Dylan,
Dylan,
I
Nick
hate
Chubb
to-
isn't playing.
Yeah, I had to break to you, but Nick Chubb is out, as I said before.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. Then fuck. How did I not
Ernest Johnson
remember that?
is going to take over.
Okay, I will still. They still need to pound the ball. Ernest Johnson obviously is not Nick Chubb, but he is still a very solid running back option to have. And I think that the Browns should still rely on the run game here. Man, I think I'm still taking the Browns just because I think Mac Jones is going to be. I don't think he's going to be able to handle that Browns defense.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with the Browns because, like you said, they were looking so good last week offensively, running the ball, and being able to throw it once they established a run game. And Ernest Johnson's a good running back. He may be the third guy on this team, but they also have 2 top 10 running backs in the league. So,
Right.
At that point, it's hard to be a starter. And that Browns defense was looking crazy good last week. And against a good team, the Bengals know how to put up offensive numbers, and the Browns shut that down completely. So I think that the Patriots have a chance. It's going to be a really good game, but to go with the Browns.
I think that now the Browns are done with their toxic locker room and they're at away against the Patriots. So the Patriots have been playing terribly in Foxborough. I think this is a great way to just give the middle finger to Odell and say, fuck you. We're better without you than with you. Suck my dick. So I say Browns all the way. Next up, Bills Jets. For the Bills, Cole Beasley is questionable, along with Tremaine Edmonds and Zach Moss. For the Jets, Mike White says he's supposed to start, and McKee Becton is coming back as well. Corey Davis is questionable, and Zach Wilson is questionable.
I'm taking the Jets.
Good God, that's horrible, but not unreasonable. I'm going to have to go with the Bills, though, still.
Even though the Bills had a terrible game against the Jaguars and they're going to the Jets, even though they're not in Buffalo, I think this is something the Bills can do. I'm not feeling good about it, especially with Mike White under center. But
That's what I'm saying, man. Mike White at home.
It's hard to bet against the
About
Bills.
time
Man.
someone put him down.
I just can't bet against the Bills, even though there's a chance. But no, give me the Bills. Next, Saints Titans. For the Saints, Terran Armstead is questionable. CJ Gardner-Johnson and Alvin Kamara are also questionable. For the Titans, Bud Dupree is questionable. Rashawn Evans is questionable. Leo Jones and Harold Landry are both questionable. Who do we think?
Titans.
I agree. I'm taking the Titans here.
I think the Saints. I'm gonna go pick the Saints. I like them a little better.
Maybe if Taysom Hill starts.
All right, Bucks football team. Antonio Brown and Chris Godwin are both questionable. Gronk is out, and for Washington, Antonio Gibson is questionable.
Easy one. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks for sure.
Bucks all around. Starting off the 4 p.m. games. Panthers Cardinals. For the Panthers, Brian Burns is questionable. Sam Darnold is out. Stephon Gilmore is questionable. Cam Newton potentially starting. For the Cardinals, Budda Baker questionable. DeAndre Hopkins questionable, and Kyler Murray questionable as well.
It's Newton time, baby. Prime
Superman.
2015 Cam.
No.
No, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because if Kyler Murray doesn't play, Panthers defense is good. I don't know about. I'll take the Cardinals because I don't trust Cam in his first start.
I also will take the Cardinals. Vikings Chargers. For the Vikings, Anthony Barr is questionable. For the Chargers, Keenan Allen and Joey Bosa are questionable. Thoughts?
Give me the Chargers.
I'm going to go Vikings.
Okay.
I'll take.
Okay.
I pick Chargers. Eagles Broncos. Eagles, Darius Slay is questionable. Miles Sanders is out. For the Broncos, Bradley Chubb is supposedly going to return. What do we think?
Going with the Birds this week.
Yeah.
What is this,
Broncos.
though?
I can't take the Birds.
I cannot bet against my boys. Let's go Birds.
Really down the Birds.
Every day. Seahawks, Packers. Russell Wilson will play for the first time since week 5. He is back. Aaron Rodgers might be rusty after a week under COVID protocols. He just did Zoom meetings, no in-person practice. He could come back as early as Saturday if he does 2 back-to-back negative tests. Devontae Adams came back from COVID last week and said he felt the COVID after effects when he played, so we might see that in Aaron Rodgers maybe. And then Seahawks have a very bad track record against the Packers. Lost 9 straight. Haven't won since year before we were born, 1999. Crazy. Injuries to the Seahawks include Chris Carson is questionable and DK Metcalf is questionable. Packers, Jerry Alexander's out. David Bakhtiari is questionable. Kenny Clark is questionable. And Aaron Rodgers questionable if he comes back.
Guys, this is a tough one because I feel like we got 2 starting quarterbacks there coming back from some form of injury or illness. And it's tough to call. I mean, the Packers are at home and their defense is a lot better than Seattle. But I got confidence in Russell Wilson this week. I'm taking the Seahawks. I think if DK Metcalf is healthy, they get Chris Carson back, they can really define the run game. And I think, and I know Aaron Rodgers is, Aaron Rodgers, but I think he's still going to be a little bit rusty after not practicing for like 2 weeks. And, the Seahawks are going to – oh, wait, no, it is in Lambeau. But just cut that out. But with Jair Alexander out, I think that's huge for the Packers or, honestly, the Seahawks offense. I think DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are going to thrive against the secondary this week. So give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson's going to come out balling, throwing deep balls, and no one's going to be there to stop him without Jair. And Aaron Rodgers he's a little older fella, He can't be handling respiratory diseases like that. And also, I don't think that little herbal remedy he had that was supposedly his vaccination is going to get him through this week. So
no.
I'm going to have to go Seahawks.
I disagree. I think Aaron Rodgers coming back is going to torch Packers defense or the Seahawks defense. They're in Green Bay. It's going to be cold in Green Bay, man. They're going to absolutely destroy Seahawks. I think Packers got it. Sunday night, Chiefs, Raiders. Clyde Edwards-Helaire expected return. Chiefs only 36 points in the last game. Nope. Last 2 games. No.
3.
Last 3 games, 36 points. Very bad.
That's so bad.
What? You don't want me to say that?
I thought you were fucking up by accident.
Yeah, I thought
No.
so too.
Oh, it was we both thought that you were just stupid.
I was like, can you not fucking read? What the hell?
I was
No,
doing something.
No, that was good.
I get it,
No,
man.
Fuck
it was
you
good.
guys.
I get it.
No, it was good.
Sorry.
It was
All
good.
right.
We just didn't realize what you were doing.
Okay. Sean Jackson in Oakland. Just went from sunny South Cal to Vegas, baby. He might fix the problem with Henry Ruggs currently incarcerated. Get a deep ball threat. Injuries to the Chiefs include Chris Jones is questionable and KJ Wright is questionable.
Man, I know I've been kind of speaking high on Mahomes the last couple of weeks, just in the aspect of him coming back, but their offense has struggled even more than it was before. The last couple of games, and their defense is not really getting any better here. So I'm taking the Raiders this week. I think they didn't look great against the Giants, but this is a division game. Tensions are going to be high, and they're going to have their first game with Deshaun Jackson, and I think he's going to be a great replacement for Henry Ruggs. And that offense looks a lot better when they have a deep option, and all their offensive weapons are healthy. And so I'm taking the Raiders this week.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Jackson is a better route runner, a better car driver than Henry Ruggs. So this is an upgrade for sure. And I think they're going to use that a lot, especially against the Chiefs defense that is so piss poor. So I think the Raiders are going to eat him up in the air. Derek Carr is going to prove himself that he can continue to lead with those yards. And I think it's going to be a Raiders game.
I believe in the Las Vegas Raiders. Derek Carr is elite. Question mark? Exclamation point, because he is.
Hey, let's go. Stat Boy agrees with me on something. He'll show
Maybe
he'll show
in
it,
this
show
game
Sunday night.
against the Chiefs defense, he is going to be so elite. So give me the Raiders. Monday night, Rams, Niners. These are the league's teams with top two wide receivers. Cooper Kupp with over 1,000 yards on 74 catches, and Deebo Samuel with 882 yards on 49 catches. Both teams just suffered some pretty bad losses. Rams lost to Titans without Derrick Henry. 49ers lost to the Cardinals with Colt McCoy at quarterback. And the 49ers have lost 5 of their last 6. Injuries to the Rams. Von Miller, questionable. Doesn't know the offense, or the defense. He doesn't know the other guy's offense that they might be playing against as well. So he might not play. Could be a liability. Niners, Eric Armstead, questionable. George Kittle, questionable. And Earl Michael, questionable. Thoughts?
I think this is an easy one. I think the Rams are going to take this one. With the 49ers struggling recently, this is not the game exactly that they should be trying to come back from. That the 49ers offensive line is solid, but I don't think it's going to be able to defend against the Rams defensive line, especially if Von Miller plays. I think Jalen Ramsey is going to be all over Deebo Samuel. And if Earl Mitchell doesn't play, they really don't have an offense. So I think the Rams are going to take this one. And I think Odell is actually going to have a really good first game.
I'm going to have to go with the Rams. The 49ers have just been not anything they're supposed to be living up to this season. I've yet to be really impressed by them. They can't seem to get anything together. Everyone's always hurt. And Colt McCoy can eat them up. I know for a fact Matthew Stafford with Kupp, Woods, and Odell is just going to absolutely torch them.
Yeah.
So no question about it, Rams.
No question. Rams got the best defense, best offense. The 49ers, they have just been terrible. George Kittle has been so bad. Give me the Rams.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys. Well, that wraps up our game picks and our Week 10 episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have anything to say before we sign off?
Yeah.
As always, go Birds. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd like to say now that Mike White's going to prove everybody wrong.
Oh,
okay.
And I realized making the pick that the Bills by far have the best defense in the league. So I'm a little worried about that. But the Jets are at home.
yeah.
Michael Carter is an underrated player on that offense.
Yeah.
And Mike White put up 34 points without Corey Davis. So I think he can do it again if Davis doesn't play this week. So look for another upset.
Mike White is the golden boy now. So
Yes.
he can do it.
All right. Well, thank you. That is all we have today. Be sure to check out all of our other episodes. Our Instagram will be down in the description. And I hope you guys all have a good week, and we'll see you next week.